to the moment you've all been waiting for. The royal hostess with the mostest. The queen bee with the money, honey.
B+.
That's right. And it's time you all bow to the real queen bee.
Here she comes, the most beautiful bee in the universe.
You're stealing all the bees just because you're jealous?
No, that's just a bonus. My actual plan is to capture all the queens. Their hives will then have no choice but to follow me.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
Well, hello, everybody. It has been a long time, hasn't it? Well, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday evening. I think it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And while you are at it, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, you know, the usual. I'd obviously appreciate that. And I have a couple things I need to say. So this isn't going to be like a long thing, or it might be, I don't know. But I haven't really spoken up much about anything that's gone on recently. And I don't think I'm going to be able to cover all my bases tonight. But I did want to get a few thoughts out while I was thinking about it and kind of just let people know what's going on. And, you know, I've prepared myself for the fact that some people you can't make everybody happy. So if people don't agree with how you handle things, then, you know, I can't please everybody. All I can do is do what feels right for me. And that's what I'm doing. So, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about stuff, and some stuff that I don't agree with, some stuff that I do. And I think that, if anything, this is a good example of I'm just trying to hang out and make connections and do my own thing on here, right? So I don't want to take YouTube so seriously. Like, it's not a great place to be in. It's, you know, my life has just been so much more positive when I'm not like super, super involved in YouTube drama. So, I mean, I still talk to some people outside of here and behind the scenes, and, you know, we're friends on a personal level. And I love that I can actually call some people I've met on here true friends. It's pretty cool. But where to start, guys? Where to start? I mean, I don't even know where to start. I know that I've heard my name mentioned a few times recently because I've started to pop up in some chats that might be surprising to some people. And, you know, I mean, let's do this one thing at a time. Okay. So when it comes to, let's start, actually, what do we want to start with? Actually, you know what? Let's start with the elephant in the room, shall we? Shall we? Okay. So here's the deal, guys. I have followed Crafton and Kim since the jump. Like, I subscribed to their channel back at the end of 2020. And it was like the first channel I ever purchased a membership to. I mean, I've followed them since the get-go, and I really like them. And I do enjoy their chats. I do enjoy the people that go to their chats. Anybody I don't care for, I either block or I just don't acknowledge, because I don't think I have anyone blocked, to be honest. So I just ignore it if I don't like somebody that's in there. So, I mean, I'm going to sit in chats. Listen, so since everything's gone on, I stand firm on how I feel. I want nothing to do with Granny's watching. Nothing. She hurt me very badly a year ago. And I'm not going to just, you know, tuck my tail between my legs and be like all accepting and happy to see her around in places I frequent. I'm just not going to do that. I don't like that. That doesn't feel authentic to me. But here's the thing. You know, if Lycan wants to have her around, that's great. You know, I understand why that's happening. I know that it's more of like a business thing than it is like, because, you know, they don't like each other. I mean, come on now. And I know why it's happening, and I respect that. And I'm just hope that people can respect that going back at me. I'm not talking about Lycan here. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is Lycan, and what I think about the situation, about the stuff that's been said about him recently. I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I do disagree with that, all of that. I don't believe that he is, well, I don't know what the right word is, but I guess everybody says a P word. I don't believe that. Now, what I saw in that phone call, do I think that was inappropriate? Yes, I do. I do think that was inappropriate. And I don't think that it's wrong. And I definitely am kind of like, ew, about that. But I don't see it as, when I think of what a P word is, and I just don't see it like that by that definition. Now, that's not to say that I don't think that what he was doing was wrong. I don't like what he was doing at all. But I just don't know if that's the correct word to put on it. I know some people aren't going to like that, and that's okay. You don't have to. I respect your opinion. If you believe that and that's how that came off to you, that's fine. But I don't feel comfortable saying that. But I do think it was a little weird, and I do think it's, in bad judgment as an adult to have somebody of that age in here. And I want people, I'm not defending that. I don't think that was right. And I think that having that kind of conversation with somebody who's underage is questionable. But like I said, when I think of what a P word is, I don't see it as that. And hopefully you all can respect my opinion on that. Regardless of whether I'm happy with what he's doing with his community or not, I'm still not gonna, just all of a sudden, I don't want to just go with what some people are saying just because it's where I hang out or whatever. I don't see it. I don't see him as what I consider that to be. I do see it as inappropriate, and I do see it as something that should not be going on at all. At all. I'm not saying that he's in the right. I'm not saying that I agree with that at all. I do think it's creepy. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Then again, then I'm hearing him throwing those sorts of allegations back at Crafton, which isn't okay either, because it's like who can slander and defame each other the most, right? And it's almost, it's not comical, but it's like what the heck? It's like anything to grasp on for I don't even know what. So let me cut it. ADHD, my mind is in a billion different places. Here's what I think. I don't think that he is an active P word. I don't think that he's gone out and, acted on any. I don't even necessarily think that he has an attraction. I just don't think that. But you never know who's around. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't listen to all of it, but from what I did hear, I do think it's inappropriate to talk to a child that way. I do think that's inappropriate. And I mean, I can see how people would put that in the category of potentially grooming. I can see that. But my argument to that is that I don't know. I don't feel comfortable jumping on the, he is definitely this train. I just don't. As much as I have not liked some of the stuff he's been doing lately at all. I have enough to focus on with that. I can. But I mean, I'm just saying, if anybody's going to judge me for deciding to not wanting to be somewhere where people who have harassed me for a year now are, I don't see why anybody would question why that's a choice that I would make for myself. And I like Crafton and Kim. So I've always kind of hung around their community. That's never changed. And, as for other people, I haven't really given much of a chance. I mean, Angela, I don't really know Angela. And I'm sure I know Angela has said plenty about me behind the scenes, and that, whatever. She doesn't know me. I don't know her. So whatever her opinion was about me was because people were saying things to her. I mean, it's the same logic, I don't fault her for that. She's never done anything to me that is malicious or crossing boundaries or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Angela. And the only reason I did was because I was same reason back and forth. So the same reasons why she was saying that she didn't like me is the same reasons that I was saying I didn't like hers, because I was being told that she had done X, Y, or Z or blah, 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 blah. And the fact of the matter is that I'm not easily insulted. So, I mean, a lot of things that people get bent out of shape about on here, I just don't see as a big deal. So, I mean, when I was really looking at it, I'm like, well, what do I actually know? Like, I don't know, like, why am I mad? I have had to ask this about myself, like, and a lot of people, including a lot of, like, pretty much anybody on here that I've ever not liked. And I have to stop and think. I'm like, but why? So, I mean, ultimately, it's, you know, it's pick your poison, right, on here. Like, nobody on here is like a saint, right? Like, we've all done some shady stuff. I mean, some of us less than others. I know I haven't done nearly as much as, you know, others on here. And anything that I have has already been exposed. So, I mean, you know, that's the worst of it, guys. I've said some not so nice things about people. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, I should just go hide and never come back, right? Never. But, yeah. So I'm just going to chat today, and with, you know, with TT, I've always liked TT. The one thing that I didn't really like about TT, and I think this is fair, is that there she has made some comments that are I don't know, not something that I would say, and not something that I agree with, but you know, she's entitled to her opinion just like anybody else. She's entitled to believe it's a free country. Like, that's what America's founded on. So if that's how she feels about certain topics, and that's how she feels. And, you know, as far as I know, she can respect that I see things differently, and I can respect that, you know, everybody thinks that they're coming from the right place, if that makes sense. You know, I see that with, you know, everybody's going to point the finger and say that person is wrong. And everybody's just so dead set in that. So, yeah, I mean, it was like some comments, and that's, you know, I'm not even going to rehash it, because when I think about it, I'm like, you know, I always enjoyed TT's lives. I stopped listening to them because Jess would go up on panel and start lying about me. I mean, I have so many clips of her just running her mouth, and TT was just like clearly bored. I was like, yeah, like not even listening, you know, when Jess was ranting and raving about me for no reason whatsoever. And so, yeah, I don't have a problem with her either. And I just, at this point, it's like, why should I don't want to base my opinions on what other people say at this point. I want to learn for myself. So if I have a bad time, I have a bad time. I learn my lesson, right? Okay, you know, I'll take a chance. So I try to, and it's been difficult, because it's like, no matter what chat I'm in, I'm suddenly expected to not go to chats because they're talking about somebody that I might not have a problem with, but they do. But I just want to be in the chat and like hang out, right? Like, I don't like people trying to puppet string or influence me or anything. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you want to talk about it, you want to say not so nice things about me, that's fine. Okay? That's fine. I've learned that on YouTube, that's what happens, and it's not that serious, and I'm sure everybody will get over it, you know, in time. So I did want to put that out there about Lycan, because I know that that's not going to be a popular opinion amongst the people that surround me at this point in time. And I'm hoping that they can respect that I have a different view on what's going on. I think the bottom line, though, is that it was inappropriate and it was wrong. There's no getting around that. But I just don't see it as what some people have kind of have said. And, you know, but like I said, if they see it that way, then they have their reasons for seeing it that way. I kind of see it as something a little different, but it's equally as disturbing, which I don't particularly want to go into, because that's not what I'm on here to talk about. But, I mean, yeah. So there's that. And then I actually was listening. I haven't been on here a whole lot, guys. I've been very busy. Like, I'm almost done with grad school. I have 12 weeks left, and I've been busy with my social life, traveling and just doing all sorts of stuff, trying to live my life, you know, to the fullest, the way that, you know, we're supposed to, and take advantage of every every minute that I am blessed to have on this planet and spend with the people I love and care about. So that's what I've been up to. So I haven't even really been listening to that much going on. So I'm just catching up. So, you know, if you don't agree with something I'm saying, like, there's a chance I haven't seen all of the evidence or whatever. So please, like, keep that in mind that I may not have seen it. So if there's more to certain things, like, please feel free to let me know. Because I may have missed it. That would be fair. But I'm basing my opinions off of what I have seen and heard for myself. So yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh, yes, with the whole Big D, right? So I'm actually surprised that anybody is surprised that I went in there and dropped a comment. I don't condone it. No, I don't think anybody is condoning what he did. I don't see that at all. Like, that, I feel like that's reaching, like, a lot. But clearly I know that there are people that are just looking for anything to run with. So I know how this stuff works. But I don't see anybody as, like, coddling him or condoning it or anything like that. But a lot of you know, like, I mean, I know that I've had a whole thing being passed around behind the scenes. So most people know who I am. They know my last name. I've actually introduced you all to my family on here. I did, when I first started out, I wasn't sure the direction of my channel. I did a couple lives with my dad. And my dad was on the parole board here in Rhode Island for almost 40 years. And I brought him on to a live, I think I did 3 of them, where people could ask questions and I interviewed him. And I did make those private, but I think I'm going to unprivate the first one, which is the best in my opinion. I think that one went really, really well, where he tells his story about, like, his experience on the parole board. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with what a parole board does. And, you know, he was in charge of making those really tough decisions. And he's taught me growing up that, first of all, I am nobody to judge anybody by their worst moments, right? I've never brought anybody's criminal record onto this. That's not my MO on here. I don't bring that into things. I don't think I've ever really mentioned even Natasha or Jessica's. Like, that's not something I go into. Although I do have a clip of her saying I have a criminal record, which is interesting considering I don't. And a simple Google search can confirm that for you and tell you everything you need to know. But I was raised with kind of using my logical thinking. Now, I'm not saying, I think that, I mean, I'm just going to come out and be honest here. I think 4 years is kind of a joke for taking somebody's life. I mean, sorry, not sorry. I just don't see that as adequate justice, but it's the UK, so it's very different there. And clearly something happened. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know how their justice system works, so I can't really speak on it. And I know that they're a little bit less tough on crime than we are, which in some ways is good, but in, like, some not. Like, I mean, there have been sentences here that have just kind of blown my mind. Like, there's somebody I went to school with that kind of had a similar situation and got out after, I believe, 6 years, and just had house arrest for an additional 5. Like, that's nothing. Like, you know, but that's for, you know, Big D to live with. Like, he lives with what he did every day. I don't have to live with that. You know, that's not, it doesn't affect me one way or the other. He has to live with that every single day. And the loved ones, the people that surround him, his family, people who loved and cared about, you know, his, I think it was wife, you know, so I feel like karma and just guilt is powerful. Like, yeah, I don't wish it on anybody. And, you know, he has to live with that. So do I think it was brave that he came on here and told his story? Yeah, I do. Because I know how people are on here, and he put himself out there for a whole lot of hate going his way, which, you know, not all of it was unjustified. I was told, or I have heard through the grapevine, that he made some comments, but I haven't heard it for myself, so I'm not going to say that he made comments or not that were a little like yikes. But I don't know that for a fact. Like, I don't know if I just overheard on somebody's live that he was, like, blaming her for what happened. Now, if that's the case, dude, like, come on, really? Like, I think that people need to take accountability for their mistakes, and I have a lot more respect for somebody that comes on and is able to acknowledge that what they did was bad and wrong, and say, you know, hey, I did this. I could have handled things this way or this way, but I chose to do it this way, and I'm sorry. And my hope for myself is that I can learn and grow from this experience, and my hope for others is that they can somehow find it in their heart to forgive me. That would be how I, you know, what I would have respect for. But I do think it's brave to come on here and put yourself out there like that for anybody. I don't see that as condoning or supporting or anything like that. But I think it's interesting because, like, half the people that are talking about him right now, I've never even seen you guys in the same chat together. So, like, how does this affect you at all? Like, grasping for content much, Granny? Really? You know, when I saw you hopping on this, I laughed. I was like, of course she is. Because that's just so outrageous, right? Anything for content, anything to try to weasel your way back in here. Anything to do that, right? Well, whatever. I just ignore. I have my life to live. But so I'm surprised that people thought that were surprised that I would take that stance. Now, I am going to unprivate that video and I'm going to share it. So if you would like to see it and check that out, I'm comfortable with that. I mean, people already know who I am. I mean, I would just ask, like, out of respect, like, I've already had to deal with people contacting people in my personal life. So just don't do that. Come on. I've never done that to anybody. Don't do that to me. I've had it done 3 times. I'm good. Like, there's no need. Okay. Nobody's going to take my internet away. I pay for my own internet. I live on my own. So Daddy isn't going to come over and unplug my internet. I don't really know what he can do to make me be quiet. Like, I'm sure they've been trying to get me to be quiet forever. I talk a lot, you know. I think that's pretty obvious. So yeah. So those were 2 things, but let's move on to CJ. Now, CJ, I have always gone to bat for you, and I know, and I can tell you, like, for sure, because I saw it with my own eyes, and I'm not going to say who because I'm not comfortable doing that, but like she probably knows who. Like, back when there was all these falling outs in that last fall when people were kind of splitting off into different ways, like, there were a few people that she's now saying very nasty things about that really went to bat for her behind the scenes, caring about her feelings and how she would feel about certain things, and told me that. So she had some true friends, and some people that she is currently really, like, I mean, what I saw today and what I've seen the past couple days, CJ, I don't know what's going on with you. I just, I mean, I don't really have any words, to be honest. I mean, there have been people that have said a lot of stuff about you, but I like to judge people for myself, and I hadn't seen anything like the stuff that people have accused you of. I hadn't seen that from you. But the past couple days, what I've seen, I mean, maybe you've been like this all along. Maybe you're trying to fit in where you're hanging out these days. I get that. I don't know what the deal is, but it's not a good look. And I don't really agree with handling things. Like, I get that people get upset with each other, but you know, you're putting people's full names out there. You're talking about people's tragedies, where and that was like some next level, like, psychological stuff too, which, I mean, I'm almost like in disbelief that would be CJ's idea. I just don't, that doesn't fit for me. So I don't know where that came from, but playing the videos of different parents with children in fires to try to get at TT, I mean, that's like some psychological, like, nasty low behavior. Which it just, in my mind, I'm like, that just doesn't fit my idea of CJ at all. But there it is on CJ's panel. And then the things she said about Sally Ann today, like, I haven't heard anybody say things like that about her until recently. I mean, like, today some things were said about her that were not so nice. Yeah, they were. But I don't see how this is going to benefit you, CJ. Like, because all what you're doing is, if you think people are going to go to bat for you like that, the people that were going to bat for you are the ones you're going after now. And I saw it with my own eyes. And I've been hesitant. Like, I don't even like to mention CJ because I like CJ. I don't like what I'm seeing though. I certainly don't like what I saw today. And I can't keep that's what I'm saying. I'm just going to be honest with everybody. I'm not going to play like the games and the politics and the not saying what I really think because I'm trying to like fit in with the group. I'm done with that. I'm good. So, like I said, the people that I hang out with now, a lot of them believe that Lycan's behavior was P-word. And like I said, also, we can have two different views on things. Just like TT has her views on certain things that I have my own views on, and they just don't mesh. And that's fine. So I can hang around people and we can disagree on certain things. I just, that particular argument, I just don't see. Do I have a lot to say about, what's gone on with who's where now? Yeah, I have a lot to say. And I mean, Granny, sit down. Sit down. You've lost all credibility at all. Like, you have no credibility left. None. Zero. Because where are you now? Where are you? That's really interesting. It's really interesting. And I'm actually really happy to see that there are some people left on here that have brains of their own. Because I have seen a lot of people just go wherever the creator they like it goes. And they talk all this crap about somebody. And then that person makes up. And then all of a sudden, everything is golden and wonderful. And everybody's happy. And they like that person. And it's dictated by one person, like the person they follow around. I've seen some people that are like, you know what? Like, Jess, I liked you, but I have to question, like, yeah, everything that you stand for or said you stood for. What do you stand for? What's your morals and integrity again? I don't know. Because you're ultimately the one who like I have no words. Like, I'm smiling because I just think it's hilarious. It's funny. And of course, like, there are people on both sides that I just don't like. And that's true. There are people in this community that I simply don't like. And they rub me the wrong way. They give me bad vibes. And I'm usually right about things. I'm pretty good judge of character. And I should trust my gut more often because I'm usually right the first time. But then I tell myself I'm being too quick to judge and I shouldn't and should give people a chance. And that hasn't worked very well for me. Now, I will say that, I don't have to have a big falling out with everybody I choose not to hang around with anymore. But, if people want to mention me, then yeah. I mean, I guess I could say more. We could, go on and on. I could, because I could talk for hours about anything, just about anything. But here's the thing. Like, and I suggest people do the same. Like, go where you want. Like, hang out with the creators that you like. It doesn't have to be this whole big thing. Like, I mean, I'm tired of, I feel like it's really disingenuous to every time there's some falling out, these hard lines being put in the sand. Like, real relationships don't work that way. It's a lot more complicated. And I get people don't want complicated. And I know for a lot of people on here, they put off as if they're, offering true relationship and companionship to people, but it's all business. And it's all to benefit their own financial gain or, with people like Jessica, YouTube is all she has for validation or accomplishment or anything like that. So, she really needs that. So that's why she's willing to go where she goes, because she can't stand. Although, I'm glad TT goes live every time she does, because she did that to other people. She did that to me. My very first live ever, she decided to go live purposely because she was mad that I made a channel. And I have proof of that now. Which, I had suspicion of that. And people that were talking to me back then, I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. Because it was purposely changed to when my first live was. Like, it was very obvious. But then I was telling myself, I'm like, no, it's in my head. Maybe I'm no, I have proof now. So that's something that she does. So I'm glad that, TT is, because TT's actually way more entertaining. So I'm glad. I will, every time TT fires up a live, I will be there because I think she's funny and I think she does really great commentary. I do. I think she can be brutal. And some people in this community, I think that's exactly what they needed. And that prime example being Jessica. Sucks when somebody else on here is kind of making it so you can't thrive on YouTube. Sucks, doesn't it, Jess? Really does. It sucks. It's not a good feeling when you can't go live because somebody else is just going to go live and try to take your audience, even though you're not even competition to them. Like I wasn't competition to you. I wasn't even trying. That had nothing to do with you. Not everything is about you. I started my channel for a completely different reason, was planning on taking it in a completely different direction. I'm not over here looking to be the new, I don't want to be you, Jessica. Okay. I'm very happy with right where I am. And my numbers don't bother me because I actually don't make my money, like any money I make on YouTube, it's not from my channel. I actually have my princess was in another castle. I've actually been doing some script writing for some pretty big creators in the true crime community and some other ones as well. I've done some script writing. I've done some editing, like taking live streams and then cutting them down into short format for money. So I've been doing a lot of that, but the script writing especially, because I'm a good writer. So and I didn't know that was something that people like paid money for. Like a lot of these bigger creators, they don't write their own scripts. They have someone write it for them. And it's not like great money, and I do it when I can, when I have some free time. But that's how I've been successful on here. I mean, my cards were never to be a big Crama YouTuber. That's not me. So, I mean, I don't see myself as like a failure or anything. Like I'm not trying. Like, I don't understand it. It's not some pissing contest, right? Like, get over yourself. But yeah, I'm glad TT does what she does with that. I am. I think it's great. I think it's great. I do. And that's all I'm really here to say, though, is that I just want people to be respectful of my decisions. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to talk badly about somebody if I don't have a problem with them. Like if there's somebody that's being talked about with people I'm friends with that I don't have a problem with, I might be in a chat, like, but who cares? I'm not making statements, but if I do, I do, because there's some stuff that's gone on that I don't like. And that's not for this live, or whatever video or whatever. Like, that's not what I want to convey here. I just wanted to clarify those two situations. Of that, I don't see anybody coddling or condoning what happened with Big D. I just didn't see it that way. And I also don't see lichen as a P word, like by textbook definition. I just don't see that. Do I see how the behaviors could be that they're wrong? Do I see grooming? I can see an argument for that. I can see that. And it was inappropriate. It was wrong. It was kind of creepy. But I don't see it at the extreme that it's been taken by some people. But if they see something that I don't, maybe they've seen something I didn't watch the whole thing. So I don't know. But like I said, I make my judgments based on what I've seen and heard. And I've actually told some people privately that, so this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody that I'm friends with. Like, they know that I don't think that it's that word. But I want to make it clear I'm saying it's wrong. Like, but I feel like that particular word has obviously connotations to it, and I just don't see it that way. But it was definitely inappropriate, and it definitely shouldn't have happened. And I certainly hope it has not happened since then. But I have to look at this. I look at big picture stuff. I'm not going to go into it here because I don't want to defend him right now, because quite honestly, I'm not happy with some of the stuff that he's been up to lately, but that's his business. Okay. Like, what he chooses to do is what he chooses to do. And I can understand, but I don't like, at this point, he is going after people I consider friends, and I don't particularly like that. No, I don't. But I'm also, I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I don't know why anybody would expect me to be okay with that. I don't know why anybody would think it's unreasonable for me to have a problem with some of the things being said about my friends. And I'm even going to bat about that, though, like with Lycan. If I don't agree with something, I don't agree with something, and I don't agree that he's that word. I think, yeah, I just don't. But then again, he's throwing those same accusations out there at Crafton with no evidence, except for allegedly somebody mentioning it in an email that, like, later was recanted because it wasn't true, and she admitted that. No, I get it. People on here are childish, so it's like they did it first. So I know. But, I have friends that still support, like, a whole bunch of people. The only person that I am, like, dead set, like, I will not be anywhere that Granny's watching this. I'm sorry. I won't. And I know the argument, what they're saying. Well, nobody cares, B. Nobody cares if you're there or not. Nobody cares. Nobody notices that you're not here. And that's cool. Good. I'm still allowed to state my opinion. And clearly you do care, Jessica, because, like, anything that I do, like, I just don't understand it. Like, and then I'm seeing the stuff that she's been doing, like looking up people's addresses and where they live, and they're like, she rattled off a list of people's living situations. I don't know who's associated with what statement. I have no idea. But that sounds like she knows an awful lot about an awful lot of people's living situations. Like, who has the time? I was on the phone with her once, and she was literally looking up Lycan's condo and was trying to figure out if his mother owned it. And I mean, I could continue. I could go on with that story and say, oh, I'm not going to bring anybody else into it. But she was, like, even reaching out to people close to her and was, like, asking her to help translate some of, like, the real estate, like, jargon that was in the paperwork. And she was literally doing this while she was on the phone with me. Like, I didn't contribute to that. I was just like, well, okay. I don't know. But, like, who cares? The stuff that I'm seeing, the stalking, the digging into people, like, why is that your business? Why is that your business? Sure, a few people have probably, like, pulled up some things about her. But, like, that's what people get. Unfortunately, people do that kind of stuff. And if you're going to come on here and talk about people, unfortunately, there are crazy people in this world, including you, Jessica, who just, I guess, can't help themselves. But it's weird. It's weird. And it's creepy. And I do not understand why people are like, oh, that's fine. That's fine. Like, I'm just glad to see that there are some people that have been longtime supporters of her that are questioning her and are expressing their disappointment and what they feel, because what she's just done is just like, she can't talk anymore. She can't. You have no voice. You have no power here anymore, Jessica. None. And I mean, that's what I always say, YouTube, it's not a forever thing. I mean, I'm not the type, this isn't the community for me. I'm more of a behind the scenes, like, the logistics, the, writing scripts and editing videos. Like, that's where I'm good. That's what I'm good at, that kind of thing. But when it comes to all of this, I mean, I just don't have the time or the energy to come on here and rant and rave. I used to be a much angrier person. I'm just not feeling that anymore. But I am going to speak my mind, and I'm not going to be quiet because somebody doesn't like what I think. If you don't like, too bad, so sad, like, I don't care. I can't make everybody happy. I can only be myself. I can only speak to what I believe in and the things that my perception of things. That's all I can speak to. So if people agree with me, that's great. If you don't, that's great. I respect your opinion if you respect mine. And, I'm not in an angry enough mood to go through my list, but, like, there was just a lot of stuff that just started adding up with other things that things did not feel right. And I just don't want to be where certain people are. I just don't. And it's more than just Granny's watching. There's two others that I gave a chance. I tried. I did. I wanted to like specific one of these people more than the other, but I wanted like, and I was trying, but as time went on, it just became very clear that the stuff that was being said about them was actually pretty accurate. Like, it wasn't a lie as much as that person likes to try. And I'm not going to say those people's names because the only names I'm bringing into this are the ones I've already mentioned. And so these are none of those people. But I tried. And it's shady. Like, I can't overlook it anymore. You know, scammer's a scammer, no matter where they happen to fall and like who they support. Sorry, not sorry. And it's just, it's blatantly obvious. And I could go on and on about how I feel about people, like the amount of people that it's just, I don't even know how to express it. I mean, I've had people be very generous with me on here and help me out, and I really appreciate it. And there are people on here that not only take things too far, but they don't appreciate it at all. And, you know, those same people that have given them a lot of help financially, you know, you see that they're talking about behind their back, or, you know, all of a sudden they're talking crap about them because they no longer support them. Like, what kind of friend is that? That's not how you treat somebody who's helped you tremendously. Like, I could never, you know, if people decide to stop supporting you, that's their decision. That doesn't make them a bad person. And especially, like, there are some very generous people in this community that, like, it makes me upset because, like, I see people getting it's the same song and dance. It's like, you know, choose your own adventure, but it's like, you know, Mad Libs, like, you only can pick a certain things. It's like, you know, oh, this person talked about, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then they turn on the waterworks, and then people feel bad and they donate, or they make these fundraisers, like, and then they don't use the money for the fundraiser on what they say they're going to. And I have a problem with that personally, because I always do, and have shown receipts. I feel that that's incredibly deceptive. And I know their excuse would be like, well, the subscribers don't care. Well, I care. I care. If I donate money for something, I want it used for what it was said it was going to be used for, because that's why I gave it to you. You know? So there's some very generous people here, and I wish that some subscribers wouldn't get as involved as they do, because it just ends up biting them in the butt later on down the line. And I've seen it so many times at this point that, I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do, right? But if people think that creators, you know, like Jessica, care about them or even like them, no. She's very good at pretending that she likes you if you're giving her something that she wants. She's very good at it. But I don't know how you could possibly feel comfortable putting yourself out there to this woman after what you've seen for the past almost year now of her behavior. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of Granny's watching. Like, anything. She records phone calls, guys. Like, that's weird. And you say I'm weird, Jessica? Like, who takes that so seriously? Like, and then you just make up lies, like, about everybody. And I know, because I know you're lying about me. So that just leads me to believe that, I mean, I don't believe it. She's just a liar. And if people don't see that, then, I mean, I can't help you. But that's all I really wanted to say on here for this. I just wanted to come out and put my opinion on those two big issues out here. And like I said, I know that people might not agree, and that's fine. But I'm not condoning either thing. Jamie, I think that was really icky. I didn't like what I heard. I think that's kind of inappropriate. That's just how I feel. But I also don't think that it's what some people, and it's not everybody. Like, a lot of people I know, I think, see it similarly as I do. Like, I can see how I can see how that could be perceived in certain ways, but I don't agree with, the definitive he is a P word. Like I don't like that. Because I just don't see that. But and with Big D, like I'm not condoning what he did. Like I said, I do think it's brave to come on and address that, especially after, YouTube's like on fire because of your story. Like, I don't know. I think that's brave. Do I agree with it? No. Is that somebody, but that's not somebody I really associate. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the people that are like so worried about it. You guys weren't even friends with them. You guys didn't even have the same circles. So what's the issue? Oh, right. It's for content. Right. I'm sorry. I forgot. It's funny though, because it's like, the granny's grasping on that. Granny, you're irrelevant now. I never tried to be relevant. I'm not even trying. I know I'm irrelevant. I've always said that. But like you're up on this pedestal. That's all you have. You're always gloating and bragging, and you're self-important. Like your air of self-importance is really just delusional. But you don't have no power here anymore. And like that's what you're grasping at, really? And you're just doing members only. Why is that? I thought you stood on your own and your community and you're like this pillar of it, but you can't go live just generally. Are you afraid of trolls coming in? Like you do to other people? Is that it's not fun, is it? It kind of sucks, right? Yeah. And then you don't stand on your own. Clearly, look where you are. Come on. She can't say anything ever again. So that part made me happy. But like I said, I'm like an adult about stuff, so I can disagree with somebody and still respect their opinion and not like get bent out of shape. Like I don't have to agree with it. That's not fun. I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want everybody to agree with me. That's weird. It's not realistic. It's weird. Like, but I also see what happens to people that speak their mind, and suddenly you become a target, and suddenly you're being put on blast, and your comments are being pulled up. And some people just don't want that kind of exposure. They just want to come on here and hang out and say what they think. They don't want that's why when I used to go live, I didn't pull people's comments up, because I don't like that necessarily. So yeah, it's like some people just want to have fun here, man. Like they just want to like use this as an escape, and it's become something that way too many people are taking way too seriously. And some of it, I have a lot more to say. My food just got delivered though, so I'm gonna go eat my food, and I'm really excited. I'm getting some new ink tomorrow. I haven't gotten new ink in many years. I think my last tattoo was in 2019, so a while. So I've been on, I'm really excited. So that's going to be cool. Maybe I'll show pictures. But yeah, I hope everybody has the day they deserve, because I think that's a great way of saying it. So you know what kind of day you deserve. So I hope you're having it. And yeah, so don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I might come on. I would like to come on here more. I always say that, and I would like to. Once I'm done with grad school, it's going to get a lot easier. But, I've been out enjoying life. I don't really have an excuse. I just haven't felt like coming on here. But I wanted to clarify, because I heard my name mentioned. That's why. So people were a little surprised at me for where I hang out now or something like that. And I just wanted to explain. So that's how I feel about things. You're not going to find me where Granny's watching is. So if that's where I'm just not going to be there. I'm going to go where I feel comfortable. I'm going to go where I enjoy. I'm going to go where there are people that I like to talk to. I've always liked Kim and Crafton. I've never flip-flopped on that, ever. I just do. Sorry, not sorry. And yeah, so that's what I think about things. So everybody have the day you deserve, and I'll see you guys in chats, and I might see you guys around a little soon. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, have a great night.